For this week's Sports Star Spotlight, Joe McCann has the story of a basketball prospect you'll want to remember next summer.
You can call him exciting, explosive, a game changer. Just don't call RJ Hampton overrated. It only fuels him, and his dad knows this.
The crowd has no clue. There's been a couple times where I've started the overrated chant because that's what he wants. He wants to be the villain. I mean, he's got the mindset he's gonna go out and give you what you want anyway. But when you start the overrated chant, or you start saying he ain't this and he ain't that, he's gonna pick one or two guys out the crowd and he's gonna show you.
He'll like look at me during the game, like, you're overrated, not doing anything. Maybe first, second quarter, if I have like 8 or 10 points, then I always have a good second half when I come out knowing if people are calling me overrated, it just fuels me.
The 6'5" combo guard from Little Elm, Texas made headlines last spring when he elected to bypass college and play professionally in New Zealand for a year. And not because of grades or eligibility questions that have forced some other prospects to go abroad. RJ has simply chosen to prep for the NBA somewhere other than a college campus.
I probably describe my game as a fast-paced player. I like to get my teammates involved, but a lot of people don't see that because I have to score the ball because that's one of my roles on this team.
He's a winner. He's going to do whatever it takes to win. He's going to score, he's going to defend, he's going to rebound, and he's going to lead. He's really, in the last couple of years, he's really gotten big on leadership, and he just makes winning plays.
RJ has never had any shortage of inspiration on his basketball journey, and a lot of it has come from two men in particular. First and foremost, his father, Rod. He's from the Dallas area, earned a scholarship to SMU, and played professionally overseas. And he's molded RJ into a 5-star phenom.
Ever since I can remember, my dad's been my coach, so like I've always listened to him, but like as I got to like maybe like 2nd, 7th grade, I started kind of like wanting to develop my own style of game. And in my younger years, he was always like, oh, you're gonna be a point guard, you're gonna be a first point guard. And then that's when I played with like Chris Harris, Jalen Wilson, and Davion. So I had guys that could score, and I was just kind of the point guard.
Early on, I just put him with some guys who could play. Guys that we all know now, that's who he came up with in my program. And all those guys, one thing they all had, they played hard every single day.
Having him as a coach has been like great because without him, I wouldn't have developed that point guard passing ability that I have now. And then he's kind of like molded my offensive and scoring game now. I just kind of fell in love with the process and just like getting up every day, working out.
When it came time for RJ to go to high school, the family was living in Little Elm, and that's where they met the man who further inspired RJ, former Little Elm head coach Rusty Segler.
Met with Coach, and Coach didn't really know who he was. I didn't tell him who he was. I just wanted, hey man, I'm gonna bring this kid to your school. What do you like? You're looking at him, he's an older coach, so he's old school. So I kind of said, okay man, maybe he has the same values of mine and a no-nonsense guy. And he really is a no-nonsense guy, but he knows how to handle these boys.
But Coach Segler hasn't inspired RJ just because he's a good coach. It's because he's currently in the fight of his life. About 3 years ago, he received life-altering news.
Well, I just didn't have any energy and I was feeling bad, so my internist sent me to an oncologist, which was one step. And that day, she tested my stuff and said I had multiple myeloma, which is a rare bone marrow disease. I didn't even have my wife with me, and I had to go in a room and call her and tell her, hey, I'm starting my chemo today.
When he got the news and when he got really sick going through chemo and all that, you could tell RJ was different. RJ was different, man. And but at one time, Coach was down. I didn't know if he's gonna get back up. He really was down for a while, and you could tell when he started missing games, but I think that's when I put on RJ's shoulders, you gotta do it, you gotta be a leader.
That affected us great. not just me, but just everyone in the Little Elm community. Just to see him every day here now that he's fighting, he has cancer. Nobody wants to go through that.
The inspiration goes both ways. As RJ gave Little Elm everything he had every night, Coach Segler just wanted to keep coming back for more.
The good Lord, evidently I've done something right because the good Lord blesses me with a player like RJ who, in a world I've never been in, I've seen but never been in. And thanks to RJ and his dad inviting me out there to USA basketball and stuff, I got to see some things I hadn't, it was bucket list stuff, and it's really been really kind of neat to deal with it because, as I've always said, RJ is just as good a person as he is a player. The public sees the stats and they see him play, and that's all they get. And you either love him or hate him, no matter unless who you're going for. I get to be with him as a person, and that's the blessing. And then I get to do just like everybody else, sit and watch how he plays, and it's fantastic.
He's way more than a coach to me. I mean, I see Coach Segler, like, especially he'll come to like my AAU games during the summer, and then like he said, USA basketball. I mean, if it was just a regular coach, I mean, he probably wouldn't invite him to like all this other stuff, but he's more than a coach, he's family.
Coach Segler is now retired from coaching to focus on his health, but he's still keeping an eye on his star pupil in New Zealand, and he looks forward to seeing RJ return to the U.S. next summer and become an NBA player.
I watch him out here, and it's clear he's the best player on the floor, and I'll take him for granted sometime. But watching him with those guys for USA basketball, well, they're the experts, okay? I can sit here and say it, and I've never coached a one and done, but when I hear them say it, wow, there it is, it's there. But it's going to be a whole lot of fun saying, I know that guy right there. I told him, I said, just give me an autograph or something. Tell me you love me every now and then.
In Little Elm, Texas, I'm Joe McCann.